In 2008, American Airlines started charging $15 to check a first suitcase on a domestic ticket, and within a year the other big network carriers had matched it. Your bag did not change. The plane did not change. What changed is where the price lived. A piece of your ticket moved out of the fare, got its own name on the receipt, and started growing on a schedule the fare has never followed. Airlines were already collecting bag money before that, just not from a normal suitcase. In 2007, the year before first bag fees existed, U.S. Airlines reported $464 million in baggage fees, almost all of it from overweight, oversize and extra bags. Hold on to that number, because it is about to look tiny. Here is what the fee did next, in the government's own accounting. $464 million in 2007. $1.15 billion in 2008, with the new fee live for only part of the year. $3.4 billion by 2010, $3.8 billion in 2015, $5.76 billion in 2019. Then flying collapsed in 2020 and the fee line collapsed with it, because this machine only runs when you do. By 2022 it had already climbed past the old record. In 2024 the total reached $7.27 billion in the Bureau of Transportation Statistics series that begins in 2007, and 2025 came in higher still, above $7.4 billion. That is not fares, not seat selection, not change fees. It is checked bags alone, 16 years after the fee was born, earning more in a year than some airlines earn from everything. Do the division on those two endpoints and the growth stops being abstract. $7.27 billion against $464 million is 15.7 times the money in 17 years. Your rent did not do that. Gas did not do that. Almost nothing you buy grew its price base like the checked bag did, because this was not a price rising, it was a price being invented. Split 2024's total by airline and the shape is lopsided. American leads at $1.5 billion, United collected $1.34 billion, Delta $1.06 billion. Then come Frontier at $862 million and Spirit at $775 million. Airlines a fraction of Delta's size, keeping pace anyway, because on a stripped-down fare almost everything, including the bag, is sold separately. Spirit shut down for good in May 2026, and that fee line stopped with it. The 2020 collapse is the honest part of the chart. Flying stopped and bag fee revenue fell to $2.84 billion, less than half of 2019. So this is not a fee that exists because of fuel or paperwork or regulation. It scales one for one with you walking into an airport holding a suitcase, and it recovered to a record within 4 years. For decades the giant exception was Southwest, the last of the 4 biggest U.S. airlines to include checked bags in every fare. That ended in May 2025, when Southwest began charging $35 for a first bag on its standard fares. By April 2026 the same bag cost $45. The fee that did not exist in early 2025 had already been raised once within a year of being born. Line up a first checked bag at the 4 biggest U.S. airlines on their standard fares in 2026. United, $50 at the airport, $45 if you pay before you get there. Delta, $45. Southwest, $45. American, $50 at the airport, $45 prepaid. The cheapest first bag at any of the big 4 now costs $45, 3 times the $15 that started all of this. Notice what United's 2 prices tell you. The same bag on the same flight costs $50 at the counter and $45 paid online in advance. That $5 spread is not handling, the bag gets handled identically. It is a price on deciding late, and it shows how finely this fee gets tuned in ways a base fare rarely is. A fee charged per direction also compounds quietly. $45 for a first bag means $90 the moment your trip is a round trip, per person, before anyone in your family checks a second suitcase. The search screen where you compared fares never showed you this number, it arrives at checkout, after the choosing is done. Now the part of the receipt you have never been shown. Every U.S. domestic base fare includes a 7.5% federal excise tax. It comes off the ticket and flows into the airport and Airway Trust Fund, which helps pay for the FAA and the system your flight actually uses. Fly on a ticket, and the aviation system gets its cut automatically. On a $300 base fare, that excise tax is $22.50, skimmed the way payroll tax leaves your paycheck before you ever see it. You never feel it as a separate decision, but it is there on every domestic ticket, every time, sized to the fare. Which raises a question worth sitting with: what happens to money the airline collects that is not the fare? But here's the catch, and it is the answer to this video's title. GAO reports that under Treasury regulations and IRS guidance, charges for optional services such as checked baggage are not subject to that 7.5% excise tax, and the money is not deposited into the trust fund. Every $1,000 of base fare sends $75 to the aviation system. Every $1,000 of bag fees sends $0. And finally, GAO ran that number once. Had baggage fees alone been taxed like fares in fiscal year 2010, the trust fund would have received about $248 million more in a year when bag fees were less than half of what they are now. So that is what your bag fee is doing that your ticket can't, growing 15.7x, repricing within a year, and flying tax-free. Your last first bag fee, was it $35, $45, or $50?